I'ma shove his ass up your ass. Yo, 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 it's your main man Neo and Mazo Backrow. On today's episode of Babble Talk, we are talking about Hancock, the superhero of all superheroes, the man of magic, the man of strength, the man of light, the man of ta-da.
Slapping Chris Rock.
Alright, so
too soon?
A little bit too soon. So this was my movie recommendation for today's episode. I wanted to talk about it. I've seen it before, but it's been a long time, and I thought it'd be like, hey, let's watch some Will Smith movies. You feel me? So Baze, how did you feel about the movie? What did you like about it? What you didn't like about it? You know.
So, it's been a minute since I've seen this movie as well. I forgot how goofy Will Smith is in the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
I thought some parts of the movie was comedic, especially with that little kid calling him an asshole, which is pretty funny. And especially since, Hancock doesn't really like being called an asshole, but people still do it anyways, and it pisses him off. But I enjoyed the movie. It was pretty fun to see Will Smith being a superhero, or his character arc, whereas nobody really liked him. And then almost close to mid to end the movie, he becomes the hero that everybody wanted, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel you on that. It's more like during the process of watching the movie, it's just the way, back then when they portrayed a superhero in a live action, it was just so weird because you see they see Superman, he fly like this, he fly in a straight line, but they got Hancock, he just all reckless.
Yeah, especially with that bottle in his hand, definitely.
Yeah, I thought that was beautiful.
That was kind of funny. It's a ludicrous song with "Bitch, Get Out the Way." That was perfect.
You know what I'm saying? And then I love when he say, "I'ma shove his ass up your ass, and I'ma shove his head up his ass." All right, and then people didn't take him seriously, and then he actually did it, and then they were like,
yeah, that was pretty hilarious.
Yes, indeed. I thought that was funny. But the whole premise of the movie is just him forgetting who he is, and I don't know why I'm here, but I'm here. But he lived for so long, and then during the process of him, it just so happened he found that the representative guy to represent him, saying Hancock is not an asshole. He's a good person. He just misunderstood type. And then the man's wife is his wife, but he didn't know. But he had a feeling when that moment that he dropped him off in front of his house, and they look at each other. He's like, damn. At first, I thought they were gonna be related, cause the way they was acting at first, cause she looked at him like, or my cousin, or even though they're two different races, but it's but they aliens or whatever, I just thought it was funny. But then he's like, oh, I don't want you to mess it up again. She's like, oh, I don't want you to mess it up again. You messed up my life every time. We always find each other. I'm like, how? Y'all always find each other. If you threw away, why is he here? You brought him here. You know what you did. You know what you did.
And then, I'm not gonna lie, if I remember, when I did watch this movie for the first time, if I remember, this is actually when I was still a teen or kid, a long time ago. So I never understood the concept, the story at first. I never understood, okay, who is this lady? How is she related to him? If I'm being honest, I had no taste back then. So I really didn't comprehend the story as well. Now I understand the story fully. I'm like, oh, he's pretty much married to her. They just don't remember, or he doesn't remember. He got hit in the head and had amnesia. It's interesting to hear that the more they're closer to each other, the more they're near each other, the more chances of both of them losing their powers, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I like
as opposed to it's always the norm. If you're together with your loved one, you're more stronger. But in this movie, nah, it's quite the opposite.
Yeah. I like that concept, because during the process of showing that when we separated, we are stronger on our own. but together we are weak. And I think that's because the power of love that they have for each other. I feel like once they're married, it's like they get this newfound power because they all from the same planet. Then it's like, well, if we all next to each other, are we all losing their power? I don't think it works that way. I think once you married to someone, then that effect goes into effect where they're like, oh, you two are married, you're lovers. If you want to be together, you have to give up something, which is your powers,
Right.
So, and it was crazy.
And I want to say Jason Bateman did a good job, being the representative. His character was pretty good. I actually believe, he actually does care about Hancock, and he actually does want to change him for the better, despite, several sacrifices that Hancock has to do. Like, for example, go to prison for, how long was he in prison for?
I think
a year, maybe? Or a couple months?
I thought it was like a 9 months prison.
9 months, almost a year, right?
I think almost a year, probably. Maybe probably either 9 to 3 years, whatever.
Yeah, because I remember they say he had to be probably around in prison for 5 years, maybe. So
I thought it was.
But I think because they needed him and the crime rate was going up so high, they're like, you know what, we need Hancock, we need him now. So I guess his sentence really didn't last that long. They I guess let him out to help out.
I think it was.
And it was kind of funny to see Hancock interact with the SWAT team, try to learn everything he learned from the professional. He's like, yeah, good job. Cops would look at him like, thank you, go do something, please.
I like the part when he's like, is it okay for me to touch you? Is it okay for me to pick you up? I don't want
consent, ladies and gentlemen, consent.
And she was like, just give me the fuck up out of here. Just get me up out of here. I ain't trying to die.
It was really hilarious, yeah. Consent, ladies and gentlemen. A superhero who asks for permission before he saves you.
That's right. It was a good movie. Overall, I liked the visual effects of the movie. It was dope. Some parts was like, come on now, that's a little bit wonky. But during that time, it made sense. But
yeah,
I like the flying.
What you expect?
I like the flying because it was so much movement with it. It's not like a straight line. He was flying everywhere. And but with the girl, she flew kind of in a straight line. She didn't go everywhere. I like how he took the little bully and threw him in the air.
Oh
and then caught it. It was so funny. So funny.
For real, and Jason Bateman just looking at him like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, and then want to start crying. Don't be crying now. Don't be crying now.
And the thing is, in this movie, I don't think there was an actual villain besides the guy he stopped at the heist. It was kind of interesting because again, there was no actual villain. It was more okay, just the bad guy. That's it. Was just the guy from the heist we saw. I thought the villain was to be his wife because they both had the same powers. They both destroyed half of a city. The one thing that Hancock was supposed to avoid from the beginning, and he ended up destroying the city. But that was pretty decent fight. It was actually pretty good. Again, for the time, those effects were pretty good. Now I'm pretty sure at today's time with the new technology we have, it probably looks pretty goofy.
Yeah, I feel like they remake Hancock over from where he left off at, to be a superhero and stuff. I think it would be more better because they're because with CGI and everything, and with all the special effects, I feel like they can really be okay, he was in this city the last time you seen Hancock in this city, but maybe he goes and figure out who he truly is, his real name, his origin story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that would be cool if they did a reboot of that movie.
Or a sequel, but yet again, it's this movie came out early 2000. It's almost a whole decade, so it'll be probably kind of hard to catch people up what happened in the last film.
Then they just
and especially with the whole controversy with Smith, but that's a topic we're not going to talk about. But if there was a sequel, what would you hope for it to be about? You mentioned about finding out who he was.
So this how I want it to be. I don't know if you guys know, comment down below. Okay, comment, subscribe, do all that. So if you ever seen Split, that movie, is a sequel to Glass, right? And it's a prequel to Unbreakable, I believe, it's a sequel to Glass, and before Glass, I think it was Unbreakable. I'm probably getting mixed up, but
Right.
I want it to be like that, where if you watch this part of the movie, so you watch Hancock first, right, and then you watch the next part of the movie, the sequel to like, or the prequel to like to Hancock, you know, they'll be like, oh, this is how he got here. I want to see the like how why he's in New York City. You know, I think he's in New York. Why he's here? How did he get here? What was his life before then? You know, and then understand okay how he is now, because they don't really give you much context of who Hancock is. All we know is that he's an asshole. He lives in the city. He destroys everything. He's an alcoholic. He don't care for nobody. He does what he wants. But that's only because he truly don't remember who he is. Maybe once he find out who he was, then his mindset would change. Even though it changed towards the end to be a superhero, but it probably would have been a lot different if he, after or before, we see like the transition of he had his memories, now he lost it. Now he's going to trying to figure out how to get them back, or you know, something like that.
Right. But I think in the film they kind of talked about his backstory a little bit. Because even he mentioned it, saying that the last thing he remembered before he woke up in this new city was that he was going to the movies, get popcorn, whatever, and he got knocked over in the head, and that's all he remembers. Whereas his wife pretty much explains they were going on a date, and I think they were trying to stop a mugging, or he was actually protecting her. He was protecting her from a mugging, and that's where he got knocked out.
Yeah,
and he's where he's at now.
But I'm saying like, okay, so during that, okay, so he got knocked out, right? But even so, they separated. So is your powers only temporary loss as long as you together, or do they fade away completely after a certain period of time? You know, so if he's going on a road trip and she's at home and he's far enough away, does he get his powers back? Or he doesn't. So if he get in an accident, does he die? You know, when do that effect come into play? I need to know the background, be how the powers actually work when you with your significant other. Do you lose it completely, or you just lose it temporarily until you are far enough away from each other? Because during the end of the movie, he was jumping away. It took him a lot of jumps to really, all right, we are good, 50 meters away. Let me jump into the sky. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that makes sense. That would have been interesting.
He didn't really explain that during the process of like always going on a date and stuff. They didn't say like, oh, the longer we together, the weaker our powers are. But is it weak until you don't have them, or is it just weak until you go away from each other? You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
Comment down below what
like
you think is the real answer.
I've always wanted, if there were a sequel, the way I would want is, probably him trying to figure out more about himself, or who knows, maybe he finds more people like him.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, maybe there's like an actual leader who's still alive, who created them, to be the main villain. But yet again, I feel like that would have been too cliche,
Yeah.
The creator, or like, how do I say it? The creator meets the maker, or I don't know, something like that. He meets his maker, pretty much.
Yeah.
You all know what I'm talking about.
We know. Comment down below.
He meets his maker.
All
That's
right.
what I meant. Yeah.
So what would you give this movie out of 10? Out of 5 stars? Out of 10? What you
out of 5 stars? I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Like a B. I give it a B plus.
Okay.
What about you?
I give it a good same. I give it a B plus, just because you don't know as much as what's going on, as you understand the story and told, but it'd be nice to have a little bit more background. So I give it based on that.
I feel like the thing doing that story, they were trying to make Hancock kind of a mystery. Like, yeah, we got like glimpses, well, not even glimpses, but we got context of his background and what happened to him. But I feel like that's what the director or the writer was trying to do. They were trying to keep him a mystery. Like, where did he come from, who he is, you know.
Yeah.
But he's, you know, he's the hero now.
Yeah. But it was a good movie. So guys, people of YouTube and Apple Podcasts and Spotify, comment down below what the next movie you want us to watch and review. It's been a good talk. Been a short one, not a long video. Just a quick review of Hancock and what we think about it, what we like about it, what we didn't like about it. Good movie overall. I like the movie. Would I watch it again? I'm pretty sure I would. But not anytime soon. I gotta get my mind a rest to not see it anymore. You know what I'm saying? But comment down below, like, comment, subscribe, all 9 yards. Click the notification bell. We got a lot more videos, a lot more movies, a lot more TV shows coming your way. Give us some time. We've been behind, but it's coming. Thank you. Peace out.
All right, guys.
All right, it's been Babble Talk.